All right, guys, we're back. Episode 6. It's Aubrey, me, Brian, Matt, and Corey.
Hi.
Um, Before we get started on the topic of theme versus no theme, we did decide that we're going to be doing another giveaway, subscriber based. I believe we decided, and correct me if I'm wrong, if we get the 50 each on YouTube and Facebook, we will be giving away, what did we decide?
The surfing Batman with shark.
That's right, the surfing Batman with a shark. And if we reach 100 on both, 100 on both, we have a
KC Hawkman.
Right on. So a couple of con exclusives, guys, and it's really just getting the word out to all your friends, getting them to subscribe. We were discussing before we decided to record this because we did episode 4 and 5 just a little while ago, and obviously it's weeks apart for you guys as we release them. We're getting into talking about news and stuff like that, and so it's really important for us because obviously if you're doing 3 episodes in one night, that something could happen in the next few weeks, and it may be a little difficult to get us together to tell you guys about it. And so we are trying to get people to cross-subscribe to our Facebook page as well, just because we will post on there. You know, if we're able to get people together last minute notice and get something up, we will do that. But current news also on our Facebook page, so cross-subscribe. Hopefully the giveaways will help with that. Yeah. So kind of this is, I don't know, a little bit more advanced stuff for the last week's podcast where we talked about Common Core team building. And we kind of got off on a few tangents about primes and all this stuff. It's going to really help in theme versus no theme. So it's really what we want to discuss is when you build a team, do you build to have a theme team? Why or why not? We'll talk about limited builds, modern age builds, whether or not you're considering map choices, and whether or not that prime slot affects your decision, right?
Right.
So I guess I'll start. I'm a big advocate right now for theme, just because it's been really easy to do with the dual nicks I've been running and the primes I've been looking at and the mystical keyword and future keyword that I'm really partial to. I like to run theme teams. I like map choice. Most of the time it's because I run a team that I need my map. Everybody knows with dual nicks, if you take them to like WK offices or back in the day with some ranks, it made your life increasingly difficult. Having that theme team gives plus to initiative, you're good to go. And I don't necessarily do name theme teams. That helps with some prob. I usually run prob. It's mostly for me for initiative. So yeah, what do you guys like to run?
I traditionally don't do theme, especially in modern.
Right.
I just, in the past when I've ran theme teams, like even if I have a theme of 3 or 4, I always seem to encounter people in tournaments who have the same or better theme, or even one worse, and beat me at map roll. I've gone entire tournaments where I didn't choose the map once. The Oregon State qualifier didn't have theme, and I don't think I chose map all damn day. But the tournament where I went 1 and 3, I chose map several times, and I got my ass handed to me. And then the times and if I hadn't ran theme, I could have picked players or pieces that would have synergized better, probably had a better outcome, and been able to do more with it, and still been stuck on crappy maps.
Right. Fair enough. So just your personal experiences brought you into.
Yeah, it just never seems to pan out for me.
Don't constrict yourself within the keyword. That kind of makes sense. How about you, Corey? What's your preference?
Well, Matt kind of just stole everything I was going to say.
Right.
For me, it really depends on the team. Like, does the team absolutely have to win map? Like you were saying with Nick Fury's, this kid's offense really sucks to have to play on. So it's a team that you really do kind of need a theme bonus with. But I feel like Matt does. I feel a lot of times when you run a theme team, sometimes you don't always have the most optimized pieces because you're trying to get within a certain parameter just to get the theme. Whereas, if you're not constricted by that, you have more choices and more powers, stuff like that to better round out your team.
Right.
But like I said, if your team loses to a certain map, you should really consider running theme. For example, like if you're running the Brainiac Skullship, you definitely have to run theme. Absolutely. Because if you get thrown a WizKid's office, you have maybe 2 or 3 places you can actually
move to.
And it's tough. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Okay. How about you, Aubrey?
Recently, I've been playing a lot of theme teams, mainly for Initiate, and I almost never run a name theme game. But generally, when I'm building pieces or teams, I usually go for the no theme because there's just a lot of pieces that I have that I like to put on teams, just general basis, that when I'm throwing them on the other pieces that I want them for, whether it's like secondary attacker or support, they just don't always fit with keywords. So most of the teams I build are non-theme, but every once in a while I go for a good theme.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean that really brings it up. That's one of the big things I like about running a theme team is winning an initiative and screwing over a team for their map choice. And that really goes into the team building. I know that a lot of us, we consider what happens if I don't win theme and I go on a certain map. We try and plan for it, right? And that really goes into, can I handle a map that has lots of elevation changes? Can I handle a map where you can't get range? Things you need to think about for theme versus no theme. Map choice, and Chip Barnett on our Facebook page put it the best, that it's a very underlooked advantage of the game. You could really screw some people over with maps. Having your proper map, just take WKO offices, and I realize I beat Dual Nicks to a pulp, and it's just my thing right now, but WKO offices versus Friendly Neighborhood. 2 totally different games.
Yeah.
Got my ass handed to me on WKO offices, even though I played and practiced on it. I don't think I've ever been beat on Friendly Neighborhood map.
Happened to me with Andrew Gonzer.
Right.
Yeah. We played on WizKid's office.
Yep.
He was able to move around the map, do whatever he needed to do. We played on, and the second game we played on a bridge, and the game was against him in the game.
Yeah. Makes a huge, huge difference. So knowing that, I mean, we'd like to hear what you guys think. Put it on our Facebook page. Do you guys run theme or not theme? That's map choice is a big thing. Pieces that you like to play. One of the biggest ones are primes. Does it affect whether or not you play a theme or not?
100%.
You think so? Yeah. How about you, Matt? It does?
Get back to me on that. I'm
Okay.
still trying to work on a comparison of like an old team I had.
Right, versus a new one. How about you, Corey?
I don't really feel it does. I mean, it's almost like any other piece to me. Because the prime slot, you have basically 3 to 4 in modern age primes that you're even looking at.
Right.
So the 2 biggest ones I would say that theme may actually matter would be Jakeem. Jakeem would, it could, because it's so easy.
Right. It's not, and that's funny because he's one of the few pieces that he doesn't really need it. He has so many options where you really don't need it.
Right.
But why not?
Exactly.
He pairs up very easily with a lot of good pieces.
Yes.
Whereas you have Nighthawk Prime, you're really having to stretch to try to build something with him, so.
Right. And it's really what you choose to go with him that matters because you're not going to get theme.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of what I was thinking too with like my Las Vegas team, like modifiers were huge. And I'm like, well, one surefire way I can get around that is Nighthawk Prime. Consistently get around it. And when I ran to a Crane team, I was very glad I had Nighthawk Prime.
Right.
Drace Prime Sunfire build, I was glad I had Nighthawk Prime because that guy has traded ESD.
Right.
Like, not anymore, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, surprisingly, and I got to thinking about this. I don't run a lot of primes, and when I do, map does not matter for me. When I ran wizard, yeah, map didn't matter.
Yeah.
He's just going where he wants. Again, for Jakeem, doesn't really matter, even though all his best support pieces luckily have mystical. I've noticed it doesn't really matter. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, Wizard fits in the same category keyword wise for me as Nighthawk Prime
Right.
because he didn't have really shit for.
Yeah, you didn't build teams with him.
No,
Not
and the
usually.
only one you could do was after they put out that Squadron Supreme ATA,
Right.
so you could actually run a theme team with multiple
Right.
primes.
Yeah, really until Jakeem, and I might be wrong on this, viable options for primes that we have seen. I mean, obviously Emma Frost, she's got some keywords, but we haven't really seen her do much. It was Peggy.
Yeah.
Peggy was one of the few, and barring Jakeem, but in recent times, I can think of that has some decent keywords where she needed it. But not many people ran her. Mostly she was calling.
Right.
So that's interesting. So I mean, really, I guess we don't really build our teams according to the prime slot as far as team and no team goes, but do what we need to do after the fact.
Right. Even like, let's say I'm not running a prime, I look at teams like what me and Daniel Schroeder kind of worked on,
Mhm.
and it was the Superman concept where it was multiple shifting focus soups, and they had like a Black Canary, and then on top of that he had the Justice League AT that just gave a static +1 to the defense to just about every character you came across.
All right.
Like, if I'm going to run a theme team, it's because I want to put ATA on.
Right.
Period. Like,
Makes sense.
Just like the dual D20s.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the big reasons it succeeds is that Midnight Suns ATA.
So really, I mean, I could agree with that. So really, theme comes down to whether a big chunk of it, not necessarily whether it fits with your prime or anything on this team, is if you're running ATAs. That's one of the
Yeah.
biggest advantages.
I think it's almost one of the bigger things. Like, don't get it wrong, I'd love it if I could have a theme team with Nighthawk Prime, but
Right.
I looked
Very
at Nighthawk
pieces,
Prime
yeah.
and I went to the pieces that I could work with them, and there are some decent attackers. But it went back to my original fear, and it was something I used to post about on HC Realms a lot. At the first Rock event that I went to, I made top 16, and the first team I went against was Batman Ally, which is stealth across the board, and I had nothing to bust that stealth. And Politician has nothing to bust that stealth.
Right.
And I hate stealth. Like, I love the idea of the power. I get why it is, but I hate it when I look across the board and I see stealth everywhere. It pisses me off instantly. And if I'm not running characters like Banshee, Rocket Raccoon, anybody with Avengers Initiative, or the Superman Ally team ability, I piss my pants.
Right.
Like, because I'm like, well, crap, they're going to have high defenses up close if they know what they're doing, or plasticity for hypersonics in. And now I have to deal with that shit.
Right.
Like, good God.
I wonder, I mean, because, yeah, some of the few things that can give keywords that's meta really is probably just that Chase Mags. And you're sitting at, you got, 85 points left over afterwards? Something like
Yeah.
that? 150 and 65?
I like Chase Mags. I think he's a super cool piece. But when the last tournament we did, and we did the Facebook Live, and I one-shotted the Chase Magneto with my Street Shark,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of takes some of the flair out of him, Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I still think he's a solid piece for 150 points. Like, but giving out that keyword to him to try to then make a team, sometimes you're stretching it.
Right. But your Street Shark would not have one-shot him had you had a Nighthawk Prime. Not enough damage going on. Right.
Well, I picked up a ultra heavy object and I outweighed his defense.
Well, you
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
have gotten the modifiers.
Right, yeah, going against the
Right.
Nighthawk Prime.
So
Well, actually, I was going against Nighthawk Prime because Wheels ran it with Nighthawk Prime, but he
Based-
placed it in
based
such a
Nighthawk
way
Prime.
that I based the Nighthawk Prime and Magneto at the same time.
so
Yeah.
had you
Wait,
gone
wait,
against
wait.
somebody, like
Yeah, it was
it
just
would have been a little bit different.
right. I get the placement he had to do because if he didn't do it, then I was just gonna tear up Nighthawk Prime.
Right.
No, I mean, and
So it's just situational, then,
Right.
that.
but I mean, you know, Nighthawk Prime makes me nervous. Like if I'm running a team with a lot of modifiers, but man,
Right.
I mean, there's so many teams with Nighthawk Prime that I'm like, man, this all works really well together. But there is no way in hell that I could even fudge a theme on this.
Right.
And I just have to risk it. I try to build teams that it doesn't matter what map I go to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I can't really say that I've been doing it just because those are the teams I've been running.
Oh no,
lately.
your
But
teams, they may be theme, but theme is not really even necessarily your intention. It's you're like, I want these 3 pieces on a team.
Right.
Oh, I can add this, add some synergy. It just happens to be soldier.
Mystical, yeah, mystical and future. Some of the easiest keywords right now. Past is really starting to look that way.
Pass is getting dirty.
Soldier, yeah,
The one I've been trying to experiment with more, and I did it for that tournament, was Animal.
right,
Because my Street Shark, Clarion, and Ace the Bat Hound is
Right.
a theme of 3. That seems legit.
right,
Fair enough.
yeah. Well, it's just like Wiccan, Clarion, and Jakeem on a team. That's just,
Yeah.
seems really stupid.
I
Why wouldn't you try and get +3?
Wicked alone is pretty stupid. Like,
I find it hilarious that
So
Clarion has animal keyword just because he carries around a cat.
Right.
Like, that's the only thing I can guess on why he has that keyword.
It is. That's why I get the animal keyword when I'm at home. I was carrying around my cat.
Oh man.
But yeah, and it's like I've even started to look at other pieces like Animal Man and stuff like that, you know?
Oh, that would be
Right.
cool.
So really, I mean, the only choices you guys really make is you'd rather not stay within the constraints. Having a theme team is not worth staying within the constraints of a keyword for your teams that you want to build.
Right.
You like to go outside of it.
Most
Now with limited and modern, I think we're all pretty much on the same page. With modern, it's a lot easier to go outside of theme
Right.
with resources,
Possessors,
possessors, stuff like that.
Colossal Retaliators.
Right. The options there, it's worth it.
I mean, that War Wheel is a 15-point taxi.
Right.
I mean, and if he doesn't match your theme, oh well.
Right.
and then he also gets like
Does it change for you in a limited format?
Limited's usually where I get burnt too, but I would like to try to do more theme in a limited, unless I hate having to deal with ESD or combat reflexes.
Right.
I hate it when I go to flurry a character and I knock them onto combat reflexes.
Oh yeah, it's the worst thing ever.
It's one of the most
That's why I like
disappointing.
Nick.
Or like, you know, you roll on Raza Ghul as ESD up front, you deal him one or 2 damage, now he has an 18 with combat reflexes, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, crap.
Yeah, might as well just not even roll.
That guy's so good.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not the biggest advocate of theme though, because I don't care where I'm fighting on. I want to fight on any map. Even if I'm running a theme team, I want to be prepared for any
Right.
map. Because even if I have a theme of 4, there's always some dick who runs robots and has like a theme of 12.
Well,
I wonder who would ever do that.
You know,
Definitely
when
not
I was running Dual Nicks, I lost a map choice. They didn't even have an initiative
yeah.
add, and I had +4. I still lost.
Mhm.
That's why you run robots. Never lose.
So it's I don't know. Like I'm not gonna stop running Dual Nicks, but kind of should take it into consideration that you don't get map roll.
Right.
You know?
And even when you do build theme, like you said, you should take that into consideration.
For sure.
Yeah, because even like when Aubrey was running the robots, there's a chance he could have came across another robot team.
Right.
Or Yeah, or like a Metalman team or something. Which
That would have been really cool.
I wish
Kind
I
of wish I.
But I mean, there's always some well, and now with the thugs too. I guess that's another
Yeah.
point. I mean, there's a Lex Luthor and Atomica team that had like a theme of 5 or some crap.
Yeah.
I'm just like, awesome.
Right.
Like the Atomic and the Three Thugs. That was crazy.
Yeah, I think it was God, who was it that ran it down in Oregon? Todd's assistant judge. Jason. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say the wrong name. Yeah, because he ran Lex and Atomica and had like 3 thugs and skipped out on the ATA. But then he had like 5 ID cards and the box
Right.
It was pretty cool.
with Lust on it, so Lex could always sidestep breakaway.
Right.
Well, not necessarily always, but
5 out of 6 times.
yeah. So
Right.
That's a problem.
So, with rotation coming up soon, do you think it's going to make a difference? I mean, for theme versus no theme.
I think we'll see a lot more theme.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of sets have been very strong on
Right.
theme. Like,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Outsiders.
you always have or sets that release and they have certain keywords. Alpha Flight or Hammer Industries, but they're not really all that great. We've been getting KCs with the Future. We get Justice Society right now. That's
Justice Society.
going to that new Atom.
Right. Outsiders.
Yeah. So it's becoming a little bit more relevant with the keywords they're choosing now.
Sinister Syndicate.
Right.
And Sinister Syndicate, has already shown some meta play. And with the replacing and now the traits that make it even better,
Right.
and I feel like that this is how we're going to deal with the Batman one. I feel like that's, I'm just calling it right now, the Bane and Man-Bat combo is going to happen. Straight up. Somebody's going to do it.
Right.
If it ain't me, it's going to be someone else. And I can't recall off the top of my head if they'd still be themed, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough in there, though, that somebody could work it out.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the other advantages? I mean, probability controls for a name theme team.
Oh, yeah.
Do they matter? I mean, I know for me personally, it never does because I'm a huge advocate for probability control.
Right.
It's been a really long time since I've ran a name theme team. It just really doesn't hold any bearing for me.
I think it's nicer and limited though, especially if some of the pieces that you're building out of your theme doesn't have access to prob. It's always nice just to have it there.
It worked out for Daniel a couple times in our game.
Sure. Nice.
When I was doing the War Wheel Colossal Retaliation across all 3 of his characters, and I had to hit 9, and I hit it, and they theme teamed it, and I hit it again, and then a theme teamed it again, and I finally missed. But
Right.
sometimes being able to pull that out of your back pocket really can change the game, and it did.
Right.
So, I mean, if you did a shield team with Nick Fury, you're probably not going to be needing that prop.
Right.
But, something like the shifting focus suits with the Black Canary or an Atomica, or I guess not with the Atomica because you got CSA, but, something along those lines, it will matter.
Right. Sure.
I think it also depends on what event you're going to.
Right. So it's curious that trying to think. I mean, even going on some of the recent events, there hasn't been a lot of theme teams. Not any that give a lot of initiative. It's been 2-man theme teams, 3-man. 3-man's proud average. So I mean, we pretty much decided and can agree on that map choice can be a huge deciding factor in whether you win or lose your matches, but it's still not a big enough one to interrupt constraining yourself with the keywords.
Right, because, I mean, you could always just go out in Crazy Field and just run an arcade team where you just don't give a crap then.
That is true.
Yeah, you don't give a crap if they have theme, you don't have theme, it just comes down to dice roll.
Right. Interesting.
Bringing it back down to the basics.
Yeah, because
Right.
I know his realm's name is Swagnito. Julian, he ran a team with Devil Dino arcade in the round table, and when if he didn't go to Arcade's Arena, he swapped out from the round table. He swapped out 70-point arcade for 70-point Quinjet.
It was super cool.
Like, yeah.
Why is this even a thing?
Not to make you cry or anything, but I mean, like, just saying, like, you know, sometimes they're not bad ideas. Like,
Right. That's a utilized thing that not many people utilize.
no, because we used to mess around with the idea of arcade with like Lydia Maller and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
try and get that off the ground, but that was a little rough. Like, it seemed to be like it either worked out and you completely screwed over your opponent, or you're stuck with a bunch of pieces that weren't going to do crap.
So a few weeks ago, we talked about some of the keywords that WizKids is still bringing stuff out for. We're bringing out more KC pieces. I can't remember if that guy had Future on him or not.
That night, I don't think so.
I'll look him up right now. But
But with some of the more relevant, obviously meta pieces that are coming into play, do you think it'll shift people over to run theme teams? I mean,
Oh.
Jakeem being one of those big ones. And I know we beat a dead horse with that one because everybody's talking about him. But I mean,
I think you could.
it's hard to deny what he can
He
do
has
with the Mystical
Future.
Keyword. Yeah, so
He does.
that's
Batman has
gross.
Future.
That's so gross.
um,
Is it going to start shifting people because it's becoming a little bit more viable now? You know,
yeah, you know,
you can break synergy using the theme team now.
you know, and you always see players like I'm pretty sure Pat's one of them. I've seen him run teams that utilize no theme whatsoever. I've seen him run teams that are all about theme,
Right.
and win tournaments with both.
It's really your plan at that point,
Right.
you know.
So I think there's merit to the argument either way. I think it boils down to what you want to accomplish with your team.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if your team can do what it needs to do on just about any map.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
like,
You could also do the opposite way too. Like if something is super prevalent in the meta, like say Brainiac Skullship suddenly became super prevalent, and you want to screw over Brainiac Skullship, you know, it would be worth it to sacrifice a little bit on your team to get the theme to
Right.
completely destroy
Right.
a matchup.
Right.
right, you know, exactly. Or like, for example, like the dual Lokis that Chip ran, like on that bridge, you couldn't stop them from going anywhere on that map.
Right.
Whereas if you had a map with maybe more blocking indoor kind of, you could corner them and maybe get some hits off. You know, I mean, you beat Chip, Corey, on the bridge map, but I mean, I was running Brian's team with dual Warrior, dual Nick, and I mean, half the game was just us jockeying pieces until he counter-struck the crap out of me.
Bad part was I actually chose that map.
Yeah, I mean, I get why you did. Like,
Yeah.
it made sense.
Right.
But,
So really, it's just coming down to whether or not the pros of being able to screw over your opponent outweighs the pros of running on theme.
right. And, like Corey kind of brought
Is it
up,
worth
too,
it? You know?
like, reading the trend of tournaments. Because there are, I mean, I'm not saying everybody does this, but there are a lot of people out there that are just like, these are the teams winning right now. I'm going to run one of these three teams.
Right.
I'm not going to look at anything else. And you get a lot of people like that. And
Right.
they're like, so, and if you have a team that can counter that, it doesn't really matter if it's theme or not at that point.
Right. So, only reason I bring this is up because here in the next few months, end of March, we got the Majestics Regional. Last year, Pat went with a 400 limited. Could also go 300. Different point values for that. Makes a difference for theme?
For me, it did last year because last year I just ran the greatest hits compilation.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really have to have theme. Like
Right.
running Henry, Copycat, Nick Fury, and Zombie Super Scroll, like my team could do what it needed to on any map you sent me to.
Right. Whereas I went with a future theme team with my KCs and,
Right. I mean,
you know,
the only guy I lost to in Swiss was Dustin Hall, And if he had failed one breakaway roll, like I would have turned around and won that match. Like
Right.
that's just how it went. Like
So again, you just hold to the same standards. I mean, what were you guys' opinions on it? Like,
I think that the more points the games become, the less prevalent that teams.
those options
It just
open
gets
up.
harder and harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, I think it becomes harder.
Yeah.
But if you do have theme, it tends to be a bigger deal
Right.
because you have more characters, so you're getting a higher
Right.
plus ratio.
Right.
right. And that was one thing I did consider too about players who did run theme. If they ran Agent 13, like that's why I had Copycat on there was solely for two reasons: White Witch and Agent 13. I knew that if they ran theme and Agent 13 was on there, I had to take her or else SOL.
Right.
You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious what other people, what they base on whether theme is important to them, whether it's not. You guys should go to our Facebook page and definitely let us know because, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Well,
You know,
well, like it's kind of like what you brought up when we were talking about when you start building teams. If you have a character that you want to that's good and you want to build around it, if that character has a keyword like mystical, you're gonna have an easy time filling in the secondary roles that you need
right?
and have theme on top of it, and you've accomplished everything you've wanted in one fell swoop.
Right.
If they have obscure keywords, or like in the case of Mizzlepick or Batmite, no keywords, like your only option then is Magneto or Arcade, or just saying screw it, I'll run the risk.
Right. Interesting. Is there anything else you guys can think of before we decide to talk about our wonderful map choice for this podcast? Large theme versus no theme.
Good. Let's cover it.
Right? Yeah. Not as a hot topic as I thought it might be.
It's from a meta only standpoint, it comes down to reading the trend of what's out there, like with what Corey brought up with the Brainiac Skull Ship. If running theme can screw over one of the top meta teams out there and put them on a map where they can't do anything, like even Thanos I could for a little while with those
Right.
Warlight maps, like that's what you got to do.
Right. Interesting. So we decided that we're going to talk about the WK office. It's a huge map out right there. It's one of their premium maps. Good versus, as we learned, Quinjet. Anything colossal with multi base that hard for movement and beyond the 2x2s. Yeah, it really screws over Nick. It's a good map. I in my opinion, in the Series 1 map's probably the best choice.
Yeah, I think it's the number one map out of those.
Yeah.
I think it's the actual most important map currently in the meta
Right.
Yeah,
because it does change a lot of things.
Right.
yeah. The only other map I can think of that might also be at the top there would be the bridge map.
That's it.
Yeah, because you don't get more open than that. I mean, it's perfect for the Quinjet, which is a hot build right now.
Right.
And it's like you proved, Corey, you can still maneuver with the Quinjet on the office map.
Right.
Like you can make it work.
Yeah, you have to practice it.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Placement is crucial.
Right. So yeah, so pros for that WKO map. Use it against Nyx, use it against multi bases, anything involving range really. It does have some long corridors, but the rooms kind of open up. If you ignore blocking terrain for movement or something like that, awesome map. It's good for Chase Mags just because, yeah.
It's good for calling in that Justice League Trinity War Green Arrow that can start blocking.
Right.
It's great for the new Rat King.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good Rat King.
It's, if you're going against a hypersonic team, like my Red Sun Wonder Woman, or it's not originally mine, it's Joshua Ernest, but
Right.
like that, You have to get the angles just right, otherwise you're wasting movement, and that
Yep.
sucks.
So yeah, that's that map. Next week's podcast, guys, I think we'll try and choose a map that has a little bit more going on. Orange rules, discuss those a little bit. If you guys want to hear about something, post it. We did 3 episodes tonight, all for recording. I'll try and have them up 1 week at a time. So it's going to be a few weeks before you guys hear about this one, but that's okay. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Nothing I can super think of right now.
All right. I know there's a super Q. I don't know if this cast is before or after it, but for the one that's in January, it should be before it. So
I'm super unimpressed with the new pizza face or whatever.
yeah,
Really?
I'm not a big
You don't
fan.
like him?
No, I don't. Man, I don't see much merit in that guy.
And me and you have complete opposite views on that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
like
it's gross.
like his little point. I mean, they're fine, but I feel like they're easily taken care of.
well, until you go up against like a robot swarm.
And then you get 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would really suck, but
Right. Like
I feel like it'd be good for the round table
Right.
teleporter.
yeah,
But
definitely.
he's just not my cup of tea. But
Right.
somebody's got a decent build with it. I'd like to see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. We'll put something up on Strike Force 5. Maybe we can get something going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a random thought I had on it.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Poison, but that what is it? That piece out of Superior Foes, the Jackal. I think
Right.
it is. I'd rather have that guy for Poison because that guy is.
Yeah, the one that
ridiculous.
brings out the 2 and then you increase it for each one adjacent or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy's a dick.
You want to talk about it, champ?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
he's talking.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. So yeah, guys, I think that will kind of end it on the note for that. Don't forget about the giveaways. Subscribe.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. We're gonna continue to do this. We're loving it, having fun with it. We're still me and Matt and a few others. We're bringing some more people in. Pacific Northwest Classic. I want to do it. I want to do it bad. Maybe we'll get some ideas fleshed out for that as well. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that besides me and Corey disagreeing on Pizza Face, I think I'm
Right.
good.
All right. Well, until next time, guys. I will talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Bye.